Federal Reserve has been served with grand jury subpoenas threatening a criminal indictment, a move he calls unprecedented and politically motivated. Powell says the investigation is nominally about a multi-year renovation of historic Federal Reserve buildings and his testimony before the Senate Banking Committee last June, but he flatly rejects that explanation. So Cenk, what's your 2 cents on this federal prosecutors opening this criminal probe into a sitting federal chair?
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable with the unaccountable nature of the Federal Reserve. This has nothing to do with that. This is trying to arrest the head of the Federal Reserve because he didn't lower interest rates in a way that a politician wanted to. That is mental. But also, Sharon, this is going to provide a clash between Trump and the business community. Who's going to win that clash? I have an answer, but let's get all the facts first.
Okay, some more facts for you. Powell released a rare video statement, Cenk, warning that the investigation has nothing to do with renovations or oversight, everything to do with political pressure over interest rates. Listen.
This new threat is not about my testimony last June or about the renovation of the Federal Reserve buildings. It is not about Congress's oversight role. The Fed, through testimony and other public disclosures, made every effort to keep Congress informed about the renovation project. Those are pretexts. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president. This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation. I will continue to do the job the Senate confirmed me to do, with integrity and a commitment to serving the American people.
Jerome Powell there. Meantime, the president, Donald Trump, asked directly about the investigation. He told NBC News he, quote, didn't know anything about it, referring to the criminal probe, before immediately attacking Powell, saying he's, quote, not very good at the Fed and not very good at building buildings. Trump also insisted the subpoenas had nothing to do with interest rates, saying, no, I wouldn't even think of doing it that way, while adding that Powell should field pressure because rates are far too high. That denial comes after months of Trump publicly threatening to fire Powell, of course, floating lawsuits over the Fed renovation project, which Trump claims could exceed $4 billion, and repeatedly damaging aggressive rate cuts. The political fallout has been immediate here. Republican Senator Tom Tillis says he will block any Trump nominee to replace Powell until the investigation is resolved. Democrats, including Senator Elizabeth Warren, say this is a direct assault on the independence of the Federal Reserve and a threat to economic stability. And then you have the polling. Polling analyst Harry Enton noted on X, Americans significantly disagree with Trump when it comes to the Fed. 68% want the Federal Reserve to act independently of Trump. He also noted that Americans consistently rank inflation, interest rates, economic stability as top concerns, while Trump's economic approval remains underwater nationally. So why do this, Cenk? I've heard a lot of commentators today and really throughout the weekend talk about how, why shoot yourself in the foot? This is unnecessary. This is a waste of political capital. Why do this?
Because Trump's a thug and an idiot. So let me explain, and so you make your own decision. So number one, does this potential arrest of the Federal Reserve Chair have anything to do with overruns on a construction project? Come on, don't embarrass yourself. Not one person thinks that. Like, oh my gosh, it's the first overruns we've seen in the government on any project. Let's go arrest someone right away. No, he keeps telling them to move the interest rates down and he won't. He threatened them in 1,000 different ways that didn't work. So now he's going to the nuclear option, which is threatening to arrest them. Like, I can't begin, if you're not familiar with how our system of government works, I can't begin to tell you how mental that is, okay? So now, what my opinion and your opinion on it, if you're at home, should be relevant, but they're a lot less relevant than the people with power. So in this case, that's the business community. And the business community has overwhelming power. So they have more power than anything else. They're the ones that drive the uniparty, and they're the ones that Trump sometimes seems to be fighting against. That's how he gets his populist credentials, his anti-establishment credentials, because in this case, he is fighting the establishment. The only problem is, this is a super rare case where it's not that like Trump is some sort of brave populist hero who's doing it for the people, right? If he was, I'd at least excuse it for good intentions. It has nothing to do with that, guys. It's just two different sides of the establishment, Trump being one of them, trying to gain an advantage. So in this case, why does Trump want it? Because if interest rates are lower, it heats up the economy. If the economy is hotter, going into an election in 2026, the Republicans are more likely to retain the House. Hence, Trump is more likely to retain power and not be impeached. Because if the Democrats hold the House, he believes, rightly or wrongly, that he'll definitely be impeached again. So he's trying with all of his might, not on behalf of the American people. If you're a populist who has issues with the Federal Reserve, does this help address that? No, it doesn't change the structure of the Fed at all. So this is a fake fight.
All right, it's time for New Year's resolutions. We all make them, but I'm not making any big flashy resolutions that are gonna crash and burn by February. My reset is much simpler. It's about giving myself a break in the kitchen. Not by eating less, don't be crazy. But let's be honest, thinking about what to eat, shopping for it, cooking it, it's a drain. And when you're drained from cooking, you can't focus on the work that matters, and that's the work right here. That's where Cook Unity comes in. It's been my way of cheating. Like I have a personal chef. I'm very fancy that way, please. But without the insane cost. Restaurant quality meals on my schedule. So I ordered a bunch of things that I loved. So we got the pepperoni naan pizza. I love pepperoni pizza, I love naan. You put it together, it's genius. Golden chicken schnitzel. It's schnitzel, but it's golden. Okay, this stuff is all so good. New Orleans shrimp and grits. They have sausage in there too, love it. And that's my point, guys. These aren't boring and repetitive meals. These are all-star chefs, Food Network alum, and James Beard winners. Handpicking seasonal ingredients and balancing bold flavors with nutrition. Every meal is a small batch masterpiece delivered fresh, never frozen. It makes hitting wellness goals effortless because a nutritious, incredible meal is ready in minutes. No shopping, no cooking, no cleanup. You can browse by chef, by cuisine, filter macros to the gram, not a thing I would do, but you could. And it's way less than takeout or even grocery store prices. Plus their packaging is part of a reusable, eco-friendly program. You can't ask for more. Taste comfort and craftsmanship in every bite from the award-winning chefs behind Cook Unity. Go to cookunity.com/TYT or enter code TYT before checkout to get 50% off your first order. That's 50% off your first order by using code TYT or going to cookunity.com/TYT. This is not about populism at all. This is me no like Jerome Powell, me want lower interest rates. But that also has a giant downside too, even no matter where you are on the political spectrum. If you lower the interest rates, you know what becomes more likely? Inflation. So Powell is trying to keep a balance where we have as good an economy as we can. Why? Because the business community wants a really strong economy, right? It's not like they want a weak economy. And so at the same time, they don't want inflation because they know inflation is a disaster for everyone involved, including the business community. But Trump doesn't think like that. Trump is short-term lizard brain. So he's like, me want hot economy good. Me want before elections. Me want Powell to lower rates. If Powell doesn't lower rates, me threaten him with civil lawsuit. Me threaten him with firing him. Oh, those didn't work. Me threaten with arresting him. We will put him in prison. That way I will be a good thug who is leader of this country. No. So this is stupid to the nth degree. I can't believe he's found a way to get me to agree with the Federal Reserve. I don't think he meant it, but somehow he twisted things around so much, it got to that point. No, this is nonsense. Sharon, what are we doing here? And by the way, his arrest of his political opponents before James Comey and Letitia James, spectacular flops. Like the judges were like, you didn't even bring in accredited lawyers. Bozo the Clown is representing you. And Ronald McDonald came out of retirement to try this case. So Jerome Powell isn't gonna get arrested, but even threatening it is really undermines the kind of democracy we're trying to run here.
So Sharon, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, if you're now aligned with the Federal Reserve on this occasion, the polling's against what Trump is doing, so the people aren't with him. The business community, as you said, is super strong. I'm not sure I even understand why Jerome Powell, except for personal reasons. I guess I get it, although he didn't want to make any statements when the other woman was under fire. I'm not sure why he even spoke to camera and gave this statement. We get it. So I don't even know if that statement's gonna help the confidence or whatever he was trying to do there. Do you?
Yeah, so the reason why he's saying like, oh, this doesn't have to do with interest rates is because if he says it has to do with interest rates, it's gonna get thrown out of court on day one. So they're just gonna read, oh, the president said that he was arrested for not moving interest rates, because Trump does that all the time. He accidentally admits things, so he must have been told 100 times over. Now remember, Mr. President, if we wanna arrest them, do not say it's about the interest rates, because a judge will then go, okay, this has nothing to do with the construction over costs, this is a political maneuver, dismissed, right? So that's why he's trying to cover it. By the way-
But what about Powell? Why does he bother to talk about it?
Oh, because Powell is horrified. He's like, are you really going to arrest me? And what you have to understand, Sharon, is so many people in like the power circles are enormous cowards. And I get why. Why? Because we don't have that much to lose. It allows us to be braver. They have a lot to lose. So the minute they run into a guy like Trump, they run for the hills. So Powell wanted to be clear here. No. I'm not gonna do this mealy mouth BS. Oh, I don't know what it's about. Maybe it's about politics and maybe it's about the construction. No, he's like, it has nothing to do with the construction. It has everything to do with politics. And I love that he did that. I thought that was strong and I think it was the right message. And now to the question of who's gonna win on this one. Already the polling indicates that American people think that it should be independent and not tied to a politician. Overwhelmingly, 68% wanted to be independent. Only 19% agree with Trump, so that's already a disaster. But on top of that, the Chamber of Commerce, corporations in this country are the most powerful force, not only in the country, but on planet Earth in the history of time. So yeah, from time to time, they have temporary losses to Donald Trump on tariffs. Very rarely losses to anyone on the Democratic side, right? But in this case, they're not gonna lose this one. The courts have been jam-packed, not with conservatives, but pro-business judges. So even when they go to the courts are gonna be like, you mess with the Chamber of Commerce? You serious? There's no way they're gonna throw this out immediately. And right now, already we have Republicans today, as we were going to air, going, I don't agree with Trump on this. I don't agree with Trump on this. Why? Because their donors are calling him and going, this will endanger the entire stock market. I don't care how much you have to kiss Trump's ass on any other issue, but you will not support him on this. And they're like, yes, sir, right away, sir. I'll be on CNBC right away, sir. And then they come on here. Well, I love Donald Trump, but this is the one area I think he's going too far, right? So you're gonna see a lot more of that because none of our politicians work for us. Chamber of Commerce will be sending them out in this rare case against Donald Trump. And you'll see it all over your airwaves, and this won't go anywhere because the Federal Reserve, Wall Street, and the business community in this country are way too powerful. And in this super rare case, they happen to be right. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.